Okay, would you like to get started? Well, if you'll join me, it's live. I don't know if anybody's out there right now. It doesn't say so.
Mm,
Is it on Facebook?
let's see. Yeah, I believe it is.
Okay. There's just no one there.
There you go. Okay.
Would you like to get
Oh
started?
boy, that color is awful.
What, this color?
No, just the color in general.
Well, turn that light down. You know how to turn it down?
It's faded now. No, it's something else. So can you say?
How about that? Hmm?
There we go.
Well, there's 12 people watching.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, thank you for joining me, Miss O'Neill. Gail's off there in the distance. You'll have to listen real hard for her instructions. I've got a story to tell you today. And Daddy says he made it on time. I did too, but the Wi-Fi connection didn't. But I'm glad you're there. And I have a story to tell you today. Let's collect up a few more people watching because I've told this story before, but I want to tell you the story again because it's a good story. It's a personal story, and you can use it. It could be an inspiration for you. And here it is. When I was about 12 years old, maybe 13 years old, I had already been fishing for many years, usually with my my grandparents up in the mountains of North Georgia. And all I ever had was a cane pole. And I had a favorite uncle, just a heart of gold. And he came by one day. They lived nearby. We lived in DeKalb County area, southeast of Atlanta. And he came by one day and invited me to go with him to go all the way downtown to Ponce de Leon to the Sears store. It was across from the old Atlanta Crackers baseball park, which I'd been to many times. My father used to take me there, and I was a baseball fan and can probably still give you the lineup when I was 7 years old, but I won't do that. But he said he was going to buy some fishing tackle, and he wanted me to go with him and advise him about what to buy, what not to buy, what was needed, and so on. I was just flattered beyond belief that I was going to be involved in this. And so we drove all the way downtown on Ponce de Leon Avenue, and we went to the Sears store, and he bought, with my help and my advisement now, because he let me be involved, he bought a Shakespeare, Ted Williams model, Shakespeare spinning reel and rod. And we even got it spooled with line. The fellow helped us out. And we spooled the leather. It was braided nylon, but we spooled it and everything. He let me pick out a little Old Pal tackle box, and we put a couple of red and white floats in there, clip-on floats, a package of lead sinkers, a Lazy Ike. Remember that lure made by Hidden? It was called a Lazy Ike. I guess it was because of Ike Eisenhower. I don't know. And we put all that in the little tackle box, the rod, the reel, and everything, and it was just fabulous. I was just so I was beside myself with joy that I was being involved in this. Well, we drive all the way back to my parents' home where I lived, and I don't think they were in on this. I haven't considered that, but I don't think they were in on it. And we go in the house there, and my aunt, Ben's wife is in there, and my mother and daddy and my little brother. And we display all of the merchandise we bought: the tackle box, the float, the weights, the Lazy Ike, and the rod, the reel, and just, oh man, look at all this that we bought. Ben is fixed up, man. I'm trying to recall that Ben probably, he spent maybe $15. And at this point in time, say I was 12 years old, somewhere along in there. So this was 65 years ago.
You better warn everybody what just happened.
Yeah, it's lightning. So if I fade off the air or the house burns down around me, you know what's happening. Storm outside. So we display the merchandise. I'm impressed. And then he turns around and he gave it to me. All of it. First rod and reel I ever had. The first tackle box I ever had. All of those things. He gave it to me. Wonderful. Isn't that a nice story? But I'm telling you this story to encourage you to be an Uncle Ben for a 10-year-old, a 12-year-old. Take them to Bass Pro. Take them anywhere. I don't care. Take them and buy them some fishing tackle. It's theirs. It's their fishing tackle. I used that rod and reel for a long, long time. I replaced it with a Johnson Century with mono line on it. Then a Zebco 33. But here, if you're able to do that, and I have, because of that example that was set for me, then why not you be an Uncle Ben for someone? It doesn't have to be your child. It doesn't have to be your grandchild. It can be a child in the neighborhood, a little boy or a little girl, whose dad doesn't live at home or his dad is not an outdoorsman. Because those trips that you'll take, those excursions fishing after that, will last a lifetime. Now think about this. I'm telling you this story for encouragement, and that, I was 12 years old, we'll say, that was 65 years ago. Now, Ben died a long time ago. He was a good friend and a good uncle and a grand man and a good family man. But here I am telling you this story so that you someday can be an Uncle Ben to someone. And maybe then you can tell the story I just told. Interesting, huh?
Ron Altman says that the same thing happened to him, that his uncle did the same thing.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
That wonderful?
He says he will never forget that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Obviously, I haven't, and he hasn't. And you can be. You can be an Uncle Ben, too. And just remember that if you take a 10-year-old fishing, you don't have to go for a largemouth bass. You don't have to use a chartreuse spinnerbait and use a free spool bait casting reel and see how big a bass you can catch that day. You can go to a local state park pond and catch 2-inch brim. It doesn't matter. You're together and you're fishing and you're visiting and you're forming a relationship that will last your whole life. You be an Uncle Ben too. Catch a 2-inch sunfish. It doesn't matter. Just go. Okay. Now, I have another idea. This is unusual. Cost you a little bit of money, but not much. So this summer, and then to the fall, when across the country the air gets more drier, the nights get brighter, and you can get together on this in preparation. With another child, yours or someone else's, you can purchase a very suitable telescope. $50. A good one. And on clear nights, you can see the craters on the moon. And you can see the planets. And for some not very expensive, you can see the moons around Jupiter. And you can see the rings around Saturn. Now think about all the time you can get to spend together in preparation for that trip, in preparation for doing that together. And they'll remember it forever. Yes, ma'am.
Wanted to read this. He says, I'm an Uncle Ben of 2 awesome nephews.
Oh, okay.
Their names are Atlas and Maverick. They watched me clean a Georgia doe last year and then took some deer meat to Florida and loved the meat. Can't wait to take them hunting.
Wow.
That's another great Uncle Ben.
You bet. Terrific.
Yes.
See, there's all...
His name is Ben Miller.
Ben Miller. Well, thank you, Ben Miller. And your nephews will thank you all of their lives.
Addie Jackson says, tell it and teach some life skills along the way.
Oh, boy. Well, you know, here, I didn't have it on my list, but here's a life skill. And thank you, Abby, for reminding me, because this is very applicable to life in general, but for you as a youngster, as a instructor, as an encourager, as a leader for the children. Okay. If you play baseball and it's low and on the outside, it's a ball. If it's a fastball down the middle, it's a strike. There's a guy standing there calling the rules. If you're late at first, you're out. Okay? Football, holding, clipping, whatever the case might be, there's somebody there in a red and in a black and white shirt throwing a flag on you. There's somebody governing your activities when you're a young man, a young girl even. There's somebody directing you. Who directs you when you're deer hunting? Or when you're fishing and the lake limit is 12-inch largemouth and you catch one that's 11 inches? Do you keep it? Is there somebody in the boat that throws a flag on you if you put that fish in the live well? No. Life's lessons, your self-determination, is so exhibited by your following the rules. I've been fishing since I guess I had to have a license at 16. I've been fishing since I was 6 years old. So that's 71 years fishing and hunting. And I've been stopped by a wildlife ranger to check my license twice.
One time you were doing a show.
Yeah, that's right. Once I was at Lake Lanier, and we were doing a striper show. And the DNR guy came over and wanted to check my license. Okay. I couldn't find it. So I said, run the camera. You keep going. I'll find it. And sure enough, I did, of course, because I owned one. But it was touch and go there for a couple of minutes. Believe me. And I got checked for a license hunting once in Colorado. And I had my license fully. And everyone did. But I did that on my own. I followed the rules on my own at whatever age it was. That's a great lesson for you to teach a young man or a little girl about the outdoors. It is such a lesson. And thanks to Abby for bringing that up so I can do that. It's such a pleasure. Okay. About the telescope again, I got off subject. If you can go, like here, Gail and I live in the mountains of North Georgia, and I have a deck out here, and I have a telescope. But see, if you do that, you can go to state parks and places all up and down the Appalachians, or even like with Travis he lives out in Oklahoma. It's dry as a bone out there. The sky is full of stars because there's no humidity. What a terrific time it is, because of the time you'll spend together in preparation for seeing that. Guess what we're going to see? Let's look tonight, because this telescope here, all you do is you put in your zip code, and this telescope will find Jupiter for you.
Like and share. Like and share.
Oh,
You just got coached from the sidelines.
I did. I got coached.
Yeah.
Like, if you're watching, like and share. Like and share, if you don't mind, please. Means a lot to me, and if you tune in, I'll appreciate the consideration. All right, where was I? Oh, the telescope. That's a very well-grounded excursion because, and one more thing, and then I'll shut up about it, and that is this. You'll get to do that at night in the early evenings after sundown. And you won't be sitting in front of the television, and your children won't be sitting in front of their laptops or on their cell phones. But they can use those devices in preparation for what you're going to do that night. It stretches out the trip. It stretches out the subject. And then, and I say this over and over again, I'm sorry, I repeat myself. I don't have that much to say. If they're in school, when they get back in school on Monday, if that's the case, they'll have something to hang their hat on. Guess what I did this weekend? My dad and I, using that little telescope that he bought, we saw the rings around Saturn. Mm-hmm. We saw the moons. We saw the moon and the craters on the moon. And we even saw, because we did some research, we happened to see on the moon where the astronauts landed in the Sea of Tranquility. Instead of, what'd you do this weekend? I don't know. Hung out. Talked to my buddies. Didn't do anything really. What did you do? Well, my dad and I looked at the moon and the craters on the moon. We researched it. It was fabulous. Have you ever done that? No, I hadn't done that. My father hadn't shown me that much attention for us to do that together. I'm sorry, I get real preachy. I apologize. But if you'll do these things, it'll be better. Anything going on?
Just people talking about their Uncle Ben experiences.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I'm glad there's a lot of Uncle Bens out there.
One gentleman says he has a special needs nephew, and so he buys camo clothes.
Oh, good.
Him.
Uh-huh.
So when they go fishing or hiking or whatever, he doesn't mess up his good clothes.
Oh, good.
Yeah. And then his mama doesn't get mad at him.
Okay. Buy camo. Get involved. Buy camo. When you're going to go on a hike, take camo. If you're going to go trout fishing in a local river, wear camo. Make it a deal. Make it
and if
part
it's
of the
hunting
action.
season, be sure and wear blaze orange.
And that goes back to following the rules.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Just
it?
saying.
About following the rules. I am going to get to go this coming Thursday, to Black Hawk fly fishing. Yeah, I'm visiting with some friends at Black Hawk. Black Hawk is in Clarksville, Georgia. It's a mountain stream. It's owned, and it is very well kept. It very well may be the best mountain trout stream in the eastern United States. Fly fishing only. But if you're any good at all, you'll catch 20 rainbows over 18 inches by lunchtime. And you'll hook a giant brown in the territory of 28, 30, 33, 34 inches. You may not land him, but you'll have a guide and you'll look after the fish. Yes, ma'am.
And you'll have some wonderful food.
Oh, yes.
Abby's an awesome cook.
fabulous, fabulous food, lodging, Black Hawk fly fishing. Put it on your schedule to happen this spring and even and this coming fall. It's so beautiful. Well, it's fall colors.
Okay. Henry wants to know
Oh, here's
who
Henry.
said this. It's getting late early.
He wants to know who said that.
Yeah.
Henry.
It would have to be Yogi Berra.
Oh, yeah, have to be Yogi. When you come to a fork in the road, take it.
Yeah. Okay. How much did that bass weigh mounted on your wall behind you? So which one is it? Okay, I'm looking at that one with the plug out of its mouth. Is what I see.
Okay, that one with a spinnerbait.
That's what I think.
There's a story that
Henry
goes
says
with that
I'm
fish.
correct.
It's a largemouth bass. That is a spinnerbait hanging out of his mouth, not the spinnerbait, but a spinnerbait. I caught that fish at a very unusual place that long years ago that I don't think exists anymore, but I'll tell you about it because I think you'll find it interesting. It was off the Georgia coast near St. Simon's Island. It was a place called Raccoon Key. Only way you could get there is by boat. And there was a fellow there, I don't remember his name. It was long years ago. I'm sure he's passed away. And he had a house there. And he had freshwater lakes on an island in salt water. The lakes almost filled up the island. And it was huge. I mean, it was fabulous. I remember one time, matter of fact, that fish weighed exactly 12 pounds, and it's the largest, biggest largemouth I ever caught. And I caught it there, and I put it back live because it's her. But there is I did a show there. My goodness, this must be 25 years ago. And I was using a rattle trap. I caught 25 in a row. 25 casts, 25 largemouth. I've never done anything like, well, one other time, and I'll tell you about it later.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
David Cargile wants to know, did you ever fish Noon Tootla?
David,
if not, I will take you.
Ooh, I love fishing invitations. David, thank you. Noon Tootla. I have never been there.
Where is that?
It's in Georgia. It's in North Georgia.
Sounds like it should be in Gatlinburg.
Yeah. Well, I think it's in North Georgia. Noon Tootla, whatever. It's a DNR managed, or like a state park managed place, and it's outstanding fishing. Thank you. I'll take you up on that. And here's the tip about trout fishing. You'll catch more, and these guys that I'm going with next Thursday to Black Hawk, they'll catch more if you wear dark camo.
We forgot about this.
Oh, stay on because
yes,
toward the end of the show, you can win a Works Tools reciprocating saw. What does that mean? That means, let me straighten it up. You can use it like this, or like that. Reciprocating saw by Works Tools. They wanted to be involved in this, and I'm proud that they are. So, and we'll pick the winner before the show's over. What time is it? Oh, Lord help. It's already
getting close.
Yeah.
So,
yes, ma'am.
It would be good if you stayed on.
Stay on.
Because somebody off-site is going to be picking the winner. We will not know who it is until she tells us.
Okay.
And you will have 2 weeks to claim your saw and allow us maybe 2 weeks to get it to you.
Okay.
Okay.
Noon Tootle's in Blue Ridge. It's
in Blue Ridge.
Yeah,
okay.
Blue Ridge, Georgia.
Okay. All right.
The foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains. That's where we live. Foothills of the Blue Ridge. Which, if you'll do a little research, which I disgustingly find so interesting, that the Blue Ridge Mountains, the Appalachians, that go from North Georgia, North Alabama, all the way to Maine, that used to look like the Rocky Mountains. But they wore down with weather and snow and ice and the natural evolution of things.
Do you remember the old super plastic floater plastic? Oh, awesome. Okay. Do you remember the old super floater plastic worms, purple or black with white spots? Wonder if you still get them. I haven't seen them, but I'm sure they're good.
Well,
Are a
they
good
certainly
pop.
are. I don't know which ones he's talking about here. Baits come and go. When I was in high school, there was a worm that everybody used. It was called the flip tail. Flip tail worm. It was made right there in Glenwood, McAfee and Glenwood, a little neighborhood there close to where I lived in Tony Valley, and it was called the flip tail. And if you want to know, this is funny, I think. It's not funny, it's interesting. Tom Mann's jelly worm, and they're still being made. He was called it was, as I understand it, I wasn't there. It's called the jelly worm because his wife made the first ones on the stove like she was making jelly. So they're called the jelly worms. If you're ever in Eufaula, Alabama, you can visit the place there, Jelly Worm Manufacturing, Tom Mann Bait Company. Tom is long since gone, but he was a fabulous, fabulous fisherman. He's a big fella, about 6'4", 6'5", gentle as a lamb. Yes, ma'am. Anything?
Well, there's a lot, but you're in the middle of the story.
Oh, go ahead, please.
Well, I mean,
we can stop.
Scott Maxim says it's the oldest mountain range on the planet.
Oh,
in Scotland.
The Appalachians, he would know. Scott Maxim would know.
Yes.
If the Appalachians are the oldest mountain range on the planet, he would know.
Yes.
Thank you. And I believe that.
Oh, and this just reminded me. Remember when our daughter was in college at UGA,
Mm-hmm.
and she worked for
Zoom Bait Company,
and they had the pumpkin seed.
Yes.
Remember? I mean, people were almost shooting each other. Remember how she would bring them when she would come home on the weekend? She would bring a supply for, was it Kmart maybe? And people would be lined up waiting on them.
It's funny. All right, here's the story of the Zoom Bait Company and the. Oh my goodness.
And then one more question. So.
Okay. What was you my mind's gone. You said the name of the bait, not Zoom.
Pumpkin seed.
The pumpkin seed lizard. Okay. As I understand it, Ed Chambers, which is an inventive, interesting fellow, he made the Zoom baits, and he made the Zoom baits different colors and so forth, and the Zoom lizards, curly tail lizards, and so on and so on. And as I understand it, he made a mistake one day, or he was out. He only had a few extra baits to make, so he made we'll call it an burnt orange looking or honey colored bait, and he put some black specks in it, and that was called
the pumpkin seed.
Pumpkin seed.
Was it pumpkin seed or pumpkin?
I think it was a pumpkin seed lizard.
Something like that. But it was pumpkin something.
Yes. And a few fishermen bought it or got a hold of it. And it was the hottest thing going, man. And
pumpkin seed firetail.
And guys would wait is it that time already?
It sure
is. Guys would go to sporting goods stores and wait there until the delivery man showed up on Mondays with his order of pumpkin seed lizards so they could get some. And that's how that came about. And it's funny, something, you don't hear about that anymore, but I'm sure it would catch just as many fish as it always did. The pumpkin seed lizard made by Zoom Baits. Are you ready to make the...
As soon as she's
okay,
done.
When she lets us know, I'll tell you who won. Got 41 guys out there right now.
We had almost 50. Be sure and like and share.
Like and share. Oh. Like it. Let's see, I had something written down here. Telescope, Uncle Ben. Oh, be sure and join us Saturday mornings on WSB AM.
Dang, I hate these storms.
I know it. We've got a storm outside, and I think we must be live. There's one guy there. 4.
We're not sure.
Yeah, something like that. 6. So
It says
maybe
live now. I'm not sure. Okay. Anyway, the winner.
the winner is.
Uh,
Okay, it shows that we're still up now. Take a look and see if it shows you're still up. Can you? I apologize. We live on the side of a mountain up here in North Georgia, and we're right in the middle of a thunderstorm. And our
okay, I'm going to ask Allison if she will please type in the winner
okay,
for me.
the winner is
It's Ron Altman.
Ron
I can't-
Altman.
I can't.
You can't do it.
it
Well, I'm
won't let
saying
me.
Robert Lamore says we're up, and
Okay.
David Cargill says I see you.
Okay.
So
Okay, and
Ron Altman.
ALTUM.
Ooh,
Altman.
okay.
Okay. ALTUM.
Ron Altman.
Is the
So,
winner.
all right. So what does he need to do?
He needs to send his information to Houston. You are up. Okay. Allison says we're up. We send the information to Houston, HOUSTON, at o'neilloutside.com.
Okay. Ron, send your email and delivery right? Address.
Yes. Is it mailing address?
Mailing address. Your mailing address, so that we can send you the reciprocating saw. Send that information to Houston at o'neilloutside.com. So, one more thing before I leave. I want to recommend a book to you. Whether if you're a striper fisherman, light tackle striper fisherman, I want you to pick up a book. You can get it on Amazon, and where is it? Here, it's around here somewhere. It's Henry Cowan's book about light tackle for fly anglers for stripers. I don't have it on my desk. Where is it? I wonder.
I don't know.
Look up Henry Cowan, Cowen, on Amazon, and you'll see his book, Fly Fishing for Stripers. It's light tackle for stripers is what it is. Okay, I'm out. I'm worn out. Kelton said last week he got his reciprocating saw in 2 days.
Okay. Well, don't expect that every time.
Okay, Ron Altman.
Altman.
Houston at o'neilloutside.com. And, if you're up to it, watch O'Neill Outside Television or get up early on Saturday morning and listen to the radio show. And then finally, that's enough. I'll see you guys Saturday morning or
Ben.
all through the week. Yes.
Ben, Uncle Ben.
Yeah. Being Uncle Ben, because
yes,
the business of life is made in the acquisition of memories. Make your own. See you later.